Rumors have been flying around regarding the Detroit Lions, what they're going to do with that 7th pick. Trade up, trade down, take best player available, take linebacker. But there's also been talk about the Lions potentially taking a quarterback. And if Kyle Pitts is there, they could do that. So in this video, I'm going to break down the positives and the negatives regarding if they decided to take the quarterbacks or decide to take a tight end with that 7th pick, what it would mean for 2021 and beyond, the immediate effects and the long-term effects. What's going on, YouTube, and welcome to Detroit Lions Talk with Mike. We talk all things Detroit Lions news, rumors, analysis, breakdown, and everything regarding our franchise. In this video, we're going to be talking about the net positives and the net negatives regarding 3 specific players that fall to the Detroit Lions and what it means for the team if the player is there at 7 and if they decide to select that specific set player. Before we get in this video, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 13K. And also hit that like button. It's free, and that's how you can support this channel. Just easy, smash that like button. Analysts and fans alike are all wondering what the Lions are going to do with that 7th pick. And there's been many mocks done by the so-called experts regarding that 7th spot. We got the Lions trading up. We got the Lions, selecting a linebacker, selecting wide receiver, some selecting a quarterback and or tight end. Regardless of your personal feelings about selecting these set of players, it's important to understand that there is going to be positives and there's going to be negatives. There's going to be set effects of what takes place if they decide to have that player on the board and or if they decide to set that player as the individual they pick for the 2021 NFL Draft. And it's important that we go over these possible situations and what it means for the team. In my opinion, it's always good to understand the variables on each side of the selection to get a good perspective of what potentially could be for the Detroit Lions going forward. Hit that like button, folks. Why? Because it's free, and that's how you can support the channel. It's real easy. Just go ahead and smash this like button. It takes a second. Support the channel. Let's get this video out there, and so other Lions fans can see it, and so the word can be spread out. And the first individual that we've heard, possibly the Detroit Lions could take if he falls to the Lions, or if this player does fall to the Lions, what does it mean? Well, that's none other than Kyle Pitts, the tight end. There's positives for this individual to be at 7 for the Detroit Lions, and if they decided to select him, he would be an elite tight end, no doubt about it, the best one in the 2021 NFL Draft. He would be a mismatch nightmare. He would definitely make defenses have to pay attention to him as well as TJ Hockenson because it would be a 1-2 combination. Who do you guard for the tight end position? Could be like Hernandez and Gronkowski back in the New England Patriot area. Definite security blanket for Jared Goff. Help him if the rush is there quick and there's no one open in the deep routes. Simply pass it to Kyle Pitts if he's got such a wide range of catchability as well as stature and height. His size is massive for his position. He is almost a Megatron type of player regarding size, speed, and catch radius. But more importantly, if the Detroit Lions do see that Kyle Pitts is on the board at the 7th pick, they would have massive trade down value. Teams such as the Dallas Cowboys are rumored to really fall in love with Kyle Pitts. So if the Lions do see that Kyle Pitts is on the board, they would have value to trade back if they did not want to select that individual. So a lot of positives there regarding if they decide to select him, but more importantly, the trade down value. There is many negatives, though, regarding selecting Kyle Pitts for the Detroit Lions. First off, to me, it is definitely a luxury pick. We already have a very good tight end in TJ Hockenson, and there's so many needs upon this team. Selecting a tight end at this position just seems like a luxury instead of really defining and breaking a need in for this team going forward. The Lions need help at the offensive line. We got a hole at the right tackle position. Yeah, Terrell Crosby's manning it right now, but is that something that you could pass up, say, if a Rashawn Slater or a Penei Sewell is there? So you'd be taking a luxury pick over a need. Again, we already have a tight end in TJ Hockenson. So why would you get another tight end in this draft when we just drafted one? And obviously the tight ends that we've drafted in the past. The Lions need defense. This is not a defensive player. The Lions need defense. They were ranked 32 last year. No doubt about it. You could trade down and select a defensive player or just simply take Micah Parsons, and you would be giving up the trade down value, just like the positive. The negative is you'd be giving up on those multiple picks you could get for him by selecting Kyle Pitts. It's definitely a risk versus reward regarding Kyle Pitts. In my opinion, I think it's still more importantly to go ahead and address a more specific need, such as the offensive line, if they decided to say at the 7th pick. Rashawn Slater and Penei Sewell could be there, no doubt about it. So if you took a Kyle Pitts over him, you're leaving Jared Goff with a bad situation standing in the pocket. Yes, the offensive line is good, but we need to get better, specifically as well as running the football, and that's what would help out with the offensive line. And what hurts us is if you did select him, the trade down value, you're not getting it. With that said, if you're not selecting him, you would get massive value. Again, the Dallas Cowboys, the Arizona Cardinals. There's many teams out there would love to have Kyle Pitts on their team. So if he's on the board, I think it's a good thing for the Detroit Lions trade down value. But if the Lions selected him, to me, I think you'd want to take, potentially, just depending on the board, the offensive lineman if you wanted to go that route. Or defense with Micah Parsons, no doubt about it. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 13,000 subscribers. We're so close. I'd love to have 13K going forward for the upcoming season. And again, I'm dropping news and rumors all the time regarding our Detroit Lions. If you're watching it, you might as well subscribe. The next player on my list is Justin Fields. Now, we don't know if he's going to be on the board with the 7th pick. It really all depends on what the San Francisco 49ers. If San Francisco 49ers do select Mac Jones, there's a very good chance that Justin Fields could be available with that 7th pick. What are positives about him? He's a dual threat quarterback. He can throw and run on the move. We have not been able to run the football a lot. Having a dual threat quarterback help ease that running game would be good for the Detroit Lions. When you have a rookie quarterback, you have an easy contract. If the Lions decided to select Justin Fields, they could trade Jared Goff probably after this season. Yes, they'll take a little bit of cap hit, but when you have a rookie quarterback, you can really start building the rest of the team because quarterbacks cost so much. Justin Fields got a big arm. He can really sling the ball down the field. And if you're really wanting to make big plays with a quarterback so young with a big arm, that's vital to doing so. We got a lot of deep threats. We got a lot of speed on our team. So having a quarterback that can launch it would be good. Again, he's very young. Having a young quarterback would solidify the quarterback position for the next decade. Plus, having that individual you know is going to be on the team for a long time is a good feeling. He does have an extreme high ceiling, in my opinion. I think he could definitely be a very good quarterback down the road. You know that he can make the big plays, and it would really help the Detroit Lions. But if the Detroit Lions decided not to select him, but he is on the board at 7, the trade down value is massive, in my opinion. There's teams such as the Denver Broncos, New England Patriots, Chicago Bears that would love to get a quarterback in this draft. So if he's on the board and the Lions want to get defense, no doubt about it, you could trade back, get a lot of capital, and get your defensive player and start building your team. When it comes to negatives, if they did decide to select Justin Fields, he's not going to start week 1 big time. He's not going to be a big factor in the 2021 NFL season, and that's an issue for a team that needs to get production out of high picks. Jeffrey Okudah was a high pick. You need to get production out of these guys to really start building your team in a good way. You're losing talent for Jared Goff. We traded for Jared Goff, and you have potentially to get an offensive lineman for him to really give him some talent to help him out. If you decided to take Justin Fields, you're not taking the talent on the board, such as a wide receiver if they wanted to go that route. Offensive lineman, they wanted to go the route. That would hurt it. There'd be a quarterback controversy. Definitely. You traded for Jared Goff, and now Jared Goff has to deal with Justin Fields. Yes, he definitely could deal with it, but with that said, it is definitely going to bring up a controversy. Anytime that Jared Goff would do bad, you'd be hearing chants for Justin Fields. He's a young quarterback. Doesn't necessarily you're going to be good. We've seen busts happen in the NFL draft with quarterbacks, and if the Lions did take him, he could be a bust for it and be a hurt pick. Not saying he is, but it's a possibility. We do need defense. Again, you're negating taking a defensive player for taking a player who potentially could be a starter for years to come, but it's not going to start week 1. Trade down value. If you selected Justin Fields, you're giving up on that trade down value that I'm sure many teams would love to get for Justin Fields. This is definitely a hard decision for Brad Holmes because as you have a new GM, a new head coach, generally you like to get your own quarterback, but they did trade for Jared Goff. That could be his quarterback. So if the Detroit Lions selected him, you're definitely telling the Lions fan base this upcoming season is going to be a little bit rough. We didn't get a impact player day one, but you need to understand, fan base, that this team is going to be better for the long haul. That's what he would have to explain if they decided to go that route. Now, if he's on the board, I think it's a win-win for trade value. You definitely can get trade back value, and that's vital towards a team that needs multiple picks to really build this football team. Brad Holmes is known as an individual that can find players in the mid-rounds. And so if you get trade back and you get more draft picks, you're going to solidify the team and the depth going forward. In my opinion, I still think it's a lot of smoke regarding the quarterback situation, but it's something that's possible because they're definitely evaluating the quarterback position, and if they decide not to go the route, they need to evaluate the trade back value for this team. Another player that could be on the board for the Detroit Lions at the 7th pick is none other than Trey Lance, the quarterback out of North Dakota State. He's a dual threat quarterback indefinitely. Again, we're trying to run the football. This guy is a big body dual threat, kind of like a Cam Newton size or a Josh Allen, who can help you get those running yards, but he's also got a giant arm and throw the football. And just like Justin Fields, it's an easy contract. Selecting a quarterback early in a team's building mode will help the team down the road solidify the whole team via contracts. When you don't have a massive contract on there, you can go ahead and get players in free agency that can help out. You can extend other players. All you got to do is look at teams who have young quarterbacks. They have the ability to really spend money in free agency and help out the team. He's got a giant cannon of an arm, real cannon of an arm. He can sling that ball 60 yards, 70 yards. This guy is giant. He's a young quarterback as well with a young body. It would help the team out going forward for the next 10 to 15 years. His ceiling seems extremely high because he could be the best quarterback in this draft besides Trevor Lawrence going down. He's just so young at the age of 20 that he needs to sit back and learn and trade down value if he's there. If the Lions do not want to select a quarterback, I see the value just like Justin Fields, where teams like the Bears, Washington football team who really like Trey Lance would love to get it, trade back, really start build the depth of this team going forward and help the team out for years to come. Negatives, though, if they decided to select Trey Lance, he's not going to start week one, just like Justin Fields. Matter of fact, he may not start the whole year. So you're putting a lot of bank on an individual who could potentially be a very good player, but he's not going to help out in 2021. You're losing talent for Jared Goff. No doubt about it. Again, you could take the offensive lineman, you could take a wide receiver, and that hurts Jared Goff because you brought this guy in here and you're setting him up for failure. Quarterback controversy, just like Justin Fields. You trade for Jared Goff, you select Trey Lance. You're basically telling the world that we don't believe in Jared Goff. Trey Lance is the future, and anytime Jared Goff starts to have a bad game, Trey Lance would be hearing chants in the crowd. When it comes to Trey Lance, it's a lack of playing time. You're betting on his high ceiling. He only played one game last year, and before that, he played one season. So this guy is young. He doesn't have a whole lot of tape, so you're banking that this guy can be good. You're banking that you can develop him, and sometimes that may not work out, and it could be a bust factor possibility. Not saying it would be, but that is in the mix for sure when you're taking a quarterback with lack of playing time. We need defense. This ain't helping the defense out, folks. Taking a quarterback with that 7th pick, you're not trading down or you're not taking a Micah Parsons. And what really hurts this team is obviously the defense and the trade down value. If you select him, the value is gone. You're not going to get multiple picks, maybe one for next year to really build this team out going forward. Because, again, Brad Holmes is an individual that likes to find talent in the mid-rounds. We only got 6 draft picks, and you're wasting one on a quarterback, so you're giving 5 picks for the rest of the needs. When it comes to Trey Lance, I really do like Trey Lance. I think his ceiling is extremely high. I definitely think he could be a game changer, no doubt about it. I think he can really elevate a franchise going forward. The question is, does the Detroit Lions feel that if Jared Goff is the guy? If we select Trey Lance, yes, they have a high ceiling. With that said, in 2021, the competition for the Lions is not going to be there. I mean, again, you're not getting a pick player such an offensive lineman, a wide receiver, and you're not getting trade down value to really build a football team. You're hoping that this guy could be the franchise going forward, and it definitely could hurt the confidence of Jared Goff. He could be in a position where the Lions push him to start because Jared Goff's not doing well, and that may hurt his ability to just sit back there. In my opinion, if Trey Lance is at 7, it's a giant home run for the Detroit Lions. With the trade back value, they could trade back, get multiple picks, and really build this team all over the field. We need help all over. We're talking offensive line, we're talking interior defensive line, edge, linebacker position, safety. There is so much needs for this team, so if you can trade back and he's on the board and get a nice haul from such as the Washington football team, you're building your team for the future, and that is absolutely good for a team that needs to build the correct way. But if they select Trey Lance, hey, they believe that this guy could be the guy, and he definitely could be an individual for years to come that could bring the team out of the depths of despair. Either way, that is options for Brad Holmes and what he has to look at through this NFL draft. Folks, I got videos dropping all the time, so make sure you hit that notification bell, no doubt about it. Dropping mock videos, I'm dropping all Lions rumors and news. Smash that notification bell so you don't miss out on that. As well as on Thursday, we got the One Pride podcast on my channel at 6:30 p.m. EST. And the following Thursday is the NFL Draft live on my channel. Round 1, make sure you're there. It's going to be a great time with the Detroit Lions, with the NFL Draft, to see the future of this team.